In the 17th century, Lazarus Colo, born with a parasitic twin, was convicted of murder and sentenced to eternal sleep. In a morbid twist, he argued that executing him would also off his twin, who was innocent of the crime. This bizarre technicality saved him from eternally sleeping, as the jury agreed and released him. The unsettling case of Lazarus Colo blurs the line between justice and the eerie reality of his unique condition, making it one of history's strangest legal outcomes. In a terrifying twist, BTK Offer Dennis Rader, who brutally offed 10 people, also worked as a home security installer. Many of his clients requested security systems specifically to protect themselves from the infamous BTK Offer, not realizing that the man installing their alarms was the very monster they feared. Rader used his job to scout potential victims, all while giving homeowners a false sense of safety. This morbid deception adds a chilling layer to one of the most notorious serial offers in history. In 1868, 21-year-old Nakano Takiko, one of Japan's last samurai warriors, fought fiercely during the Battle of Aizu. Fatally wounded in battle, she made a chilling request to her sister to cut off her head so their enemies couldn't claim it as a trophy. In a morbid and honorable act, her sister followed through, ensuring Takiko's enemies were denied the ultimate symbol of victory. This haunting moment highlights the brutal and at times terrifying code of honor among samurai warriors. In a bizarre and morbid turn of events, a Russian man attempted to rob a hair salon, but the female owner overpowered him. Instead of calling the police, she tied him up, stripped him off, and held him captive for days. In a twisted power reversal, the woman used him as her ex-slave, feeding him Viagra and keeping him bound in her back room. After being released, the man went straight to the police and both were eventually arrested. This horrifying ordeal shocked many due to its disturbing and dark nature. Did you know that actor Woody Harrelson's father, Charles Harrelson, was a notorious hitman? In 1979, Charles assassinated U.S. District Judge John H. Wood Jr., becoming the first person to off a federal judge in the 20th century. Even more chilling, he was linked to the JFK assassination in 1963, with conspiracy theories suggesting he was one of the 3 tramps spotted near the scene. Although the JFK claims were never proven, Charles Harrelson's morbid legacy haunts Woody's past to this day. In March 2024, a Vietnamese man underwent surgery to remove a live eel from his abdomen after it had entered through his anus. An ultrasound and X-ray revealed the eel inside his digestive tract. The eel caused intestinal perforation and peritonitis, but fortunately, the injuries were not life-threatening. In 1990, burglars Von Lester Taylor and Edward Deli broke into the Tida family's cabin near Salt Lake City, opening Christmas presents and filming themselves before killing Kay Tida and her mother. Kay's husband, Rolf, was shot and set on fire, but survived. The burglars set the cabin ablaze, kidnapped the Tida daughters, and fled. Captured after a police chase, Taylor was sentenced to death and Deli to life in prison. Taylor's death sentence was vacated in 2020 but reinstated in 2021. In 1976, retired Armenian swimmer Shavarsh Karapetyan witnessed a trolley bus crash into a reservoir after finishing a 26 kilometers run. Despite the murky water and poor visibility, he dived 10 meters deep, broke the bus's window with his legs, and rescued 20 of the 92 passengers. Karapetyan spent 45 days in the hospital, suffering from cuts, pneumonia, and sepsis, which ended his swimming career. Reflecting on the rescue, he recalled the haunting memory of mistakenly grabbing a seat instead of a person. In 1985, he again risked his life by rescuing people from a burning building, suffering severe burns in the process. The SS Edmund Fitzgerald, a large American freighter, tragically sank on November 10, 1975, during a severe storm on Lake Superior. All 29 crew members were lost, and none of the bodies were ever recovered. The exact cause remains unknown, with theories ranging from structural failure to flooding or being overwhelmed by massive waves. Despite extensive investigations, the exact cause remains unsolved. Meet the world's first two-headed dog, created by Soviet Dr. Vladimir Demikov in 1954. A German shepherd acted as the host, with a smaller dog surgically attached on top. Both heads could hear, see, smell, and swallow. The animals tragically died within 4 days. In this 1970 photograph, we see Jeannie Wiley, also known as the Feral Child, from California, struggling to walk at the age of 13. Throughout her life, Jeannie suffered relentlessly at the hands of her father, who subjected her to a makeshift straitjacket and confined her to a locked room tethered to a child's toilet for hours on end. His response to any noise or behavior she exhibited was akin to that of a snarling dog, instilling fear in her. These severe conditions deprived Jeannie of the opportunity to learn how to walk or speak. In 1989, a father and son traveling through Stockton, California, found a camo jacket with a VHS tape in its pocket by the side of the road. Out of curiosity, they watched the tape at home and made a chilling discovery. The tape showed footage of a house burning down, apparently filmed by the arsonist. They quickly handed the tape over to authorities. Days later, an arson investigator returned to the spot where the jacket was found. Remarkably, the jacket was still there. Inside, they discovered a wooden pestle, often used in satanic rituals. Nearby, they also found a matching glove and a ceramic skull. In August 2024, 70-year-old William Bryan died during surgery after Dr. Thomas Shaknovsky allegedly removed his liver instead of his spleen by mistake. The mistake led to catastrophic blood loss and Bryan's death. The liver was mislabeled as a spleen until after his death. Bryan had been admitted for abdominal pain and was advised by Dr. Shaknovsky and Chief Medical Officer Dr. Christopher Bacani to undergo emergency surgery. This tragic video shows content creator Paul Harrell, who had over 1.1 million subscribers, sharing a final goodbye with his viewers after passing away from pancreatic cancer at 58. Paul recorded the video titled "I'm Dead" on December 20th, 2023. After being diagnosed with stage 2 pancreatic cancer in July 2023, the cancer spread to his bones, causing them to crumble, resulting in a fractured hip that left him unable to walk without assistance. In the video, Paul expressed guilt over his sudden death, feeling as though he was abandoning the community he had built. 79-year-old Warren Haggard's remains were recently discovered. He disappeared in the Nevada wilderness in 2014. His body was found about 3 miles from his car in Coyote Canyon. The mystery remains as to why Warren ventured into such a remote area and then hiked even further after his car got stuck on rocks in a creek bed. In 2017, 71-year-old Bernard Gore planned to meet his wife and daughter at a Sydney mall after shopping. Instead, he accidentally exited through a door leading to a confusing stairwell and was found dead 3 weeks later after failing to find his way out. The stairwell was later described as a labyrinth of self-locking doors and confusing exits. In May 2008, Brandon Swanson was driving to Marshall, Minnesota around midnight when he accidentally drove into a ditch. He called his parents, unhurt, asking for a ride. During a 47-minute call with his father, while trying to describe his location, Brandon suddenly yelled, "Oh, ish!" and the line went dead. Although authorities quickly found his car, Brandon Swanson was never seen again. When the Nazis invaded the Netherlands, Dutch watchmaker Corrie ten Boom and her family constructed a hidden room in their home to shelter Jews until they could be safely transported. For over 4 years, the Ten Boom family rescued more than 800 people. After being arrested by the Nazis in 1944 and sent to Ravensbrück concentration camp for women, Ten Boom narrowly escaped the gas chambers and was released before the end of World War II. This is a photograph of child actor Joe Pickler performing in the 2001 film Beethoven's Fourth. After his acting career, Pickler returned to his hometown of Bremerton, Washington to finish school. However, on January 6, 2006, Pickler vanished and has not been seen since. As of 2024, the case remains unsolved and Pickler remains missing. In April 2000, 17-year-old Jeremy Beckle called his father from a party, saying he'd stay overnight but asked for a pickup the next day. When his father arrived, Jeremy, his friend Erin Foster, and her car were missing. Friends confirmed they had left the party together but never returned. For years, theories about their disappearance ranged from fleeing to Florida to a drug deal gone wrong, but the case remained unsolved. After more than 20 years, in 2021, content creator Jeremy Sides, who is a scuba diver and investigates missing persons, took on the case. Within days, he discovered Erin's car submerged in the Calf Killer River, with the remains of Erin and Jeremy inside. This is a photograph of Benito Musolini after surviving an assassination attempt during a rally, with a bullet grazing his nose. On April 7, 1926, Violet Gibson fired a pistol at Mussolini, grazing his nose. Despite the injury, Mussolini was bandaged and went on to deliver his scheduled speech. Gibson, the daughter of the Irish Lord Chancellor, was nearly lynched, later imprisoned, and spent the rest of her life in an asylum. Mussolini was Prime Minister of Italy from the March on Rome in 1922 until his deposition in 1943. This footage shows a man suffering from fatal familial insomnia, a rare genetic disorder causing progressive sleep loss. The condition begins gradually and worsens, leading to complete insomnia, speech and coordination problems, and sometimes even dementia. It usually results in death within months to a few years and has no known cure. This dramatic video from 1941 captures the HMS Barham exploding after being struck by a torpedo from the German submarine U-331 off the coast of Egypt. The footage was taken by Pathy News cameraman John Turner. Just 4 minutes after the torpedo hit, a fire on board ignited the ship's magazine, resulting in a massive detonation. Tragically, 862 people lost their lives in the incident. In August 2024, Appalachia High School received a threatening call, warning of clappings at 5 schools, with Appalachia being the first. Law enforcement sources in Georgia told CNN at the time. 4 people were offed in the clappings, and another 9 were injured and taken to hospitals. The suspected clapper turned out to be a 14-year-old student. Here is a video of people across the U.S. reacting in real time to the unfolding tragedy of 9/11.